Welcome in to the TK pod. Realized that I didn't record last week. I'd been thinking about this the last several days. I was trying to remember what I did last week for the episode, and I can always just hop on and see what I did, but I knew that I would be coming back around to it this week every Wednesday, right? Not last Wednesday, evidently. And the reason I missed or completely forgot, literally just completely forgot last Wednesday. I don't even remember thinking about it. Maybe the reasoning behind that is what we're going to talk about today, very briefly. I think today's going to be a short podcast. We'll see. I'd love for it to be 10 minutes for your sake and for mine. We don't need to hear about what I'm going to talk about for that long. And frankly, I have some other stuff to do today. So um, yeah, just completely missed it last week. Why? Well, it has been a week since I've worked out. Last Wednesday, when the last episode should have come out, whatever that was going to be about, um, is the last day that I did any exercise. And you might say, well, Tyler, that's a bad idea. You've got semifinals coming up next weekend. As I record this on the 23rd, next Wednesday will be the 30th. And then the day after that, the 1st of May, is when the workouts, well, actually, the workouts are released on Monday, 5 days from now. And then you can start doing them, completing them over that weekend. Thursday through Sunday is the semifinals. We're 8 days out. So why haven't you worked out in a week? Well, that's because my season is over. I am, and I guess I could put a very small caveat on this, but I am 99% sure that next weekend when the semis roll around and it's time to, register and complete your workouts and get the video camera out and do them all, and I won't be doing them. And it's because I got hurt, and not so much hurt, but my body kind of quit on me in a little, in a sense. Talk about that in a second. Uh, this is a little bit similar to the injury slash um, overtraining issue that I've had before. I wouldn't call it a massive deal. I didn't tear my Achilles or a bicep tendon or dislocate my shoulder. There's no real injury. It's really just an overuse and overtraining deal. Um, One of the things that I've focused on a lot on over the last year plus, since I've been, you know, basically since that fall of 22, um, fall of 21, fall of 21, I've basically been trying my best to listen to my body more, especially when the injuries and nicks and pains come around. And I think the nature of this one specifically, it happens to be with my back and my core and my hips. It uh, When you can't stand up or bend over, like when you can't do some basic things, you start to listen to your body a little bit more. Um, and so yeah, like I started to feel some. Yeah, it was Tuesday, 8 days ago from this point that I woke up, had a Tuesday worth of training to do. I woke up, I did um, a 20-minute AMRAP of cardio. It was literally just echo bike, run, row. It was just a cardio AMRAP, 20 minutes, rested. Kind of felt like a pull in my low back, like an ache, like maybe, oh, I didn't stretch enough to start this workout. And now on the rower or something, I kind of aggravated a muscle. But you're warm and you're already loose and you're in the adrenaline of the session. And so, I'm able to push through it. I knock out a killer workout, a workout that is down the pipe. It was dumbbell snatches and burpees over the dumbbell. A workout that if it were to come out in a competition, it's like that first open workout. I'm going top 1% of the 1% on this guy and crush a score, crush myself. I'm on the ground, just exhausted, gasping. One of those. Like, it felt like I got a lot done. I got fitness done 8 days ago. And then the rest of the day, my back just kinda started to tighten up, and I was like, "Ah, don't love that." The rest of that day, we did, like, a home project where we were doing a little putting some accent boards on a couple walls, a couple bedroom walls. So I'm carrying 2 by 4s through the house and, like, getting down in weird positions, like, nailing stuff in, all this stuff. And Wednesday, I wake up and I'm like, "Well, this doesn't feel good at all." Like, I am struggling to get out of bed, put my socks on, all the things, right? And but it's not horrible. It's worse than it was Tuesday as it kind of got bad. I thought maybe I sleep it off. It was worse. I was tight. I was not good. But I was good enough to warm up and be like, "Okay, semis is in 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks from today, like, we start semifinals. Gotta train." And, warmed up, took a little bit longer, but you get the sweat going again, like, you feel good, and I was able to work out. I was able to front squat, do some snatches, um, and then hit a an EMOM that training purpose wise, like, I completely failed, did not get the stimulus I wanted, but still got a great workout. It it was like an EMOM that I wasn't able to complete, so I was, like, redlined to the max. Part of it was probably the central nervous system stress I was under that I wasn't able to do it. Um, but didn't hurt, like, none of it was painful. And then again, you stop, go take a shower, sit down, or whatever you do, and you start to tighten up again, and it got worse. It went further down the line. And Thursday, I woke up and was in severe pain. Like, I couldn't, like, it was bad. And I've been through this before. Back in November of 2023, when I first injured myself, I believe that was when it happened. Again, nothing happened. It wasn't something specific that popped, or like a single rep where I bounced a deadlift in the middle of 20, I guess that would have been 2023. I bounced a deadlift, and you know, there's a specific, pop or like muscular thing that happens. It's just a systemic thing. It's just you gradually overtrain, under recover. You're pushing the limit, as I am trying to be as fit as I can for semifinals. And at some point, my body's just like, "Hey, we're done." And it manifests itself in my lower back, but for a while there, for the worst of the 2 days, or the worst of the last week, it was really just a whole entire back, core, hips, like, everything aches, everything is tight, everything is painful. Just feels like a pinched nerve all over the place. And, this is how it manifested the first time, and it took me, like, 6 weeks the first time to fully recover from that. Couldn't touch a barbell, didn't lift any weights, like, I think I probably talked about it on here. And I knew that it was the same feeling. And so, we went to the PT, have not worked out in a week, and it's gotten better, but even as I stand here right now, I can feel the ache in my hips and my low back. It hasn't gone away. And we've now detrained ourselves for an entire week, haven't touched a single thing. I'm going to maybe try and do some type of small workout just to, like, not be fat today for 20 or 30 minutes. And I don't know how that's going to go. And if I do the wrong thing, like try and lift and maintain some of the training that I should be for semifinals, um, it is going to go right back to, I'm not going to have given it the time for my body to say, okay, you're good. You can get back into training again. Um, all this to say, we're a week out. Like, at this point, the taper should start for the semifinals. And I don't think that signing up for the semifinals, spending $100 for registration for that, just to see my name on a leaderboard of 5 workouts that I might be able to get through under ibuprofen and like 90 minutes of warm up per workout, I it just became not worth it at this point, and it's unfortunate. Mentally, I've been in every place the last week, trying to not come to terms, but deal with the fact that this is basically all I trained for all year, and I have to voluntarily, for my health, cut my season short. The goal was always to make the semis. This was wherever I ended up this weekend or this next weekend was going to be just cherry on top. Like, oh, cool. I got to participate in the semis and see, where my name sat on that leaderboard. But we accomplished our goal this year, and we're going to live to fight another day. In this case, we're going to live to train for another year. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think, on the last podcast. You don't know if I could get hurt or I could, this could be my last go around. This could be the only chance I have. Um, but it is what it is. If I try and train for the next week hard to be ready for the semifinals after being detrained for a week, and then I put myself through 5 grueling workouts like these, and I'm so jealous and sad that I don't get to compete in these 5 workouts because I think they're probably going to be pretty sweet. But it is what it is. And my health and being able to stay healthy long term, much more important than just seeing my name on a semifinal leaderboard. So the season is over. And last Wednesday, I was dealing with the beginning of all this. So that's maybe why I forgot to do a podcast last week. And that's about it. We will regroup on the training side of things. Again, most of what I talk about on this podcast is here's what my training looks like. Here's what competition I'm going to do. Here's this, here's that. Uh, we'll have to regroup on that. We'll maybe talk about semifinals a little bit and project what I could have done on those, but we move on. As far as other things are going, mentally for the last week, because it was Easter over this weekend that all this happened. Um, I've been in like a closer to depression than like being super happy about things. Uh, if you're gonna sway me on one side of the spectrum there of my mood, and then you add on top of that all the Easter candy that my daughter got, and we went to Easter at her family's house in Nebraska, and I'm eating dessert there, and like now it seems like all I'm doing is every couple hours I'm just finding more chocolate eggs, right? And so pair the fact that my back hurts, I don't get to do semifinals, I haven't worked out in a week, and I've been eating chocolate for 5 days. I feel like I'm in that moment, or at least I feel currently like a sack of shit. Now, you look at me in the mirror, shit, you put me in the gym right now, and even at 50%, I could still do more than most people. That's something I have to remember. And we're gonna get back on the horse, hopefully literally here after this show, in some way. And these are the moments, especially in fitness and health, where people fold. 95% of people fold. So there actually is a takeaway from this little 15-minute podcast today. Um, most people don't have the base or the long history of consistency that I do. So that doesn't help them, right? I know that, within a week, I'll be back to basically, 99% of what I was right before this injury. A couple days of clean eating and I'll feel and probably look just as good as I ever have, right? That's easier to fall back on than a lot of people who don't know. They don't have a basic consistency to fall back on. They don't know if they continue to keep going, will they ever push through and see more progress or not. I know all these things to be inherently true from experience. Nonetheless, 95% of people, they get to this point where they hit the roadblock. They've been clean eating or exercising for a month, 3 months, 6 months. And then they hit a spot where, wow, my consistency has been halted. I haven't worked out in a week. I haven't eaten well in a week. All my progress is gone. Fuck it, I'll just throw it all in the trash. Don't be someone who folds in that moment. You have 2 options. It always comes back to this. Sure, where I stand right now isn't ideal. The last week has not been good eating or exercise-wise. I can either make it worse by just giving up and stopping and not caring, or I can get a workout in today. I can eat a nice clean meal for lunch, and we can start laying the bricks to more progress and building back up. There's 2 options. Be the person who makes the correct choice on that. Lastly, unbelievable that I'm saying this, but the disc golf is gonna have. I mean, I wanna fucking do is play disc golf. Like, so many of these days, the last week are starting to become nicer and nicer, like the perfect, like, 60, 70-degree weather, sunny. There have been quite a bit of rainy days here. April has been rainy. It's been a very, wet spring, but man, there's been a lot of days where I could just go play disc golf, and now, after all these things happening, now I can't go play because if I go play, I'm gonna fucking hurt my back more. Like, the twisting of a disc golf throw when you try and, like, throw it real like, that's not gonna be good. So, just one thing after another. It might be goddamn June before I get a disc golf round in. I swear to God, I will play disc golf this year at some point. Truly unbelievable. Anyway, um, there's your 16 minutes, 17 minutes of podcast today. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week with who knows what. We'll see you then.